Welcome back, folks, to another edition of SmackDown Saturday. I'm SamuraiT-X, and the last time we left off, we had our own WrestleMania as Ken Shamrock did defeat Mankind in a rematch for the WWF Championship, and then we decided to switch characters to The Rock. And it didn't go so well, because we lost a Falls Count Anywhere match to Mr. Ass. And now we meet him again in the King of the Ring after The Rock beat Stone Cold and Mr. Ass beat Big Show. So, now we're going to get our revenge against Mr. Ass. And, well, I'm not going to talk about Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, because both shows were a bit hit and miss. Well, Raw was a huge miss, and SmackDown was mediocre, I guess. But I will talk about the main points of both shows. For a go-home show, Raw's show is pay-per-view's Payback, and for its go-home show it was pathetic. It was poor. Boring. Like, I fell asleep during most of it. I tried to watch it again on Tuesday. I did watch it on Tuesday, but I was drifting in and out of sleep. Speaking of drifting, Elias Sampson was there. The Drifter. So yes, he was there. Again. And, well, let's talk about the more talking points. Like the tasteless Roman Reigns build-up with Braun Strowman saying the latest 2 weeks were the toughest weeks of his career. I can understand why he says it's the toughest week of his career because of the fact he lost his brother, but to add the whole Braun Strowman beating him up in the ambulance storyline to his actual personal life, kind of silly if you ask me. It just feels tasteless, you know. And yeah, it does feel a bit tasteless. But also, Kalisto did beat Braun Strowman, but then ended up being in the dumpster, or the rubbish bin, whatever you want to call it, and be pushed off the stage like the New Age Outlaws did in 1998. Can't remember who it was to, but I know the Outlaws did that exact same thing. With much more, you know, oh my god moment from Jim Ross and whatnot. You know, Jim Ross could make anything sound awesome, you know. Anyway, what else? Oh yeah, Matt Hardy beat Sheamus. The build-up's been poor to this match. Hardy's just feel like another tag team since coming back to WWE. The nostalgia pop will eventually die down, so I think that Matt and Jeff do need that broken character, but I still think that they will be over because it's the Hardys, but they still need the broken gimmick, you know, and fast. Because, you know, they came into WWE, they were broken before they came into WWE, and then they just came to be a nostalgia act. I guess because of the lawsuit with TNA, or Anthem Sports, whatever you want to call them, the Owl. That Owl. Yes, that's all I can say about that Owl. Like, yeah, they're still having a lawsuit about the whole gimmick, of the broken gimmick. So yeah, I hope WWE eventually get that gimmick so that the Hardys can use it, because I think it would be awesome if they were to use it on WWE television. Well, SmackDown's show this week, the main event was for the Women's Championship between Charlotte and Naomi. Of course, that ended in a no contest because Tamina, Natalya, and Carmella decided to interfere in the match. No surprises there. Of course, Naomi weren't going to lose the title. People were getting worried that Charlotte was going to win it immediately. I knew it wasn't going to happen because Charlotte had a run-in with the three of them the week before this one. So, yeah, I just knew it wasn't going to happen. But yes, I do expect Charlotte and Naomi to actually fight them, and probably have Becky Lynch by their side because Becky didn't want to join them, and she says she's sick and tired of it on Talking Smack. So I do expect Becky to kind of join in the fight, like to even the odds. Well, yes, after this, after a few matches, I will probably talk about Payback. Well, I will talk about my Payback prediction. Sorry. But I'm not really excited for the show because WWE did a poor job in getting me excited. You know, it's like they didn't care this week. Like they just built it like a normal show. That's what it felt like. It felt like watching a normal Monday Night Raw. So let's talk about this match right now between Mr. Ass and Mr. Ass and I was about to say Mr. Ass and Mr. Rock. The Rock and Mr. Ass. And so far, it's been a like 50-50 contest. Mr. Ass has the famous sir outside the ring. That isn't going to do much because like you have to do the pinfall outside the ring. And Mr. Ass hits a pile driver. My goodness, a finisher and a dangerous move outside the ring. And a drop kick to the Rock. Rock's really taking a beating out here. But he reverses it and turns it into a DDT. Picks up Mr. S. Mr. S isn't selling. I don't understand why, but this is the old games. So yeah, the old games, the AI never used to sell that much. Mr. S hits the Brainbuster outside. I'm not losing to Mr. S again, I'm telling you that for sure. The Rock punches Mr. S in the midsection twice, and Mr. S reverses it. See, look how quick he recovers. I guess it's because I'm playing on hard mode, but you know, they don't sell it in general anyway, even if you play on normal. DDT by the People's Champion is what he needed. And now he's picked up Mr. S, and Mr. S counters again. Don't get why Mr. S keeps countering, but whatever. Eye rake. Now the Rock's clubbing Mr. S to the back of the neck. And he picks Mr. S up. No, he doesn't, because Mr. S counters. And does the arm wrench. Okay, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. He actually is. And the Rock hits the barricade. And again he's going to hit the barricade. Rock runs in the ring. And Mr. S gets in the ring. Net breaker by Mr. S. The Rock counters with 2 punches to the midsection. Here we go, Mr. S Irish whips him. The Rock does counter and clotheslines him. And he stomps on him and then takes off his armband as he's about to do the most electrifying move in all of sports entertainment today. Here we go. It's the People's Elbow. And he beats Mr. S by knockout. Yeah, revenge is sweet, isn't it? The Rock advances to the King of the Ring final. But who will he be facing? Surprisingly, DX didn't interfere. Because I bet if DX would have interfered in this match, Mankind would have came out in my age, you know. But no interruptions by DX, which was a good thing. And who's The Rock going to be facing in the final? He's facing the World Wrestling Federation Champion, Ken Shamrock, last year's King of the Ring winner. So here we go. It's The Rock versus the WWF Champion for the King of the Ring. And here comes the People's Champion, but we're going to skip his music. And we're going to skip Ken Shamrock's music, as we are just wanting to get into our match. So, King of the Ring final, here we come. Last year's champion versus the finalist. Now, Ken Shamrock has also won King of the Ring in 1998. I think he also beat The Rock in 1998. I believe he did beat The Rock in 1998. He's stopped by Ken Shamrock. The Rock will counter by kicking Ken Shamrock in the face and him in the clothesline. Ken Shamrock punches The Rock twice in the midsection. Middle kick. The Rock tried to hit the clothesline, but Ken Shamrock kicked and countered. Ken Shamrock counters again. Ken Shamrock really is very quick at the counters, so The Rock has to be very careful. He has had feuds with Ken Shamrock in the past for the Intercontinental title, while The Rock was part of Nation of Domination, but this time he's by himself. So at least he won't have the Nation to help him. And he's done the superplex to Ken Shamrock. And this time he's mounted punches on the world's most dangerous man. Ken Shamrock wouldn't want to lose this match to the People's Champion. Otherwise, it will probably be down the line a future WWF Championship shot. He smashes to The Rock's arm. The Rock did take quite a beating earlier from Mr. S. Did suffer a famous stir and other things on the barricades and whatnot. So The Rock would be a bit injured from his previous match, but it seems he's not letting these injuries get to him. Ken Shamrock has yet to exploit these injuries, which is a surprise, because Ken Shamrock normally exploits them. Ken Shamrock does punch The Rock in the ribs, and hits The Rock in the back of the head. Now Ken Shamrock has the initiative here, but The Rock counters with after Ken Shamrock tried to kick him. And Ken Shamrock throws The Rock out of the ring. The Rock holds on, and he's still in the ring. It's almost as if he was trying to hold on for dear life, just like it was the Royal Rumble. And Ken Shamrock this time stays in the ring. Belly to belly backflip. I think The Rock will need to recuperate. He's definitely stunned here, and he chooses to go outside. Then comes back in after a few seconds. And Ken Shamrock hits the backdrop. And he's going for the pin. It was a rope break. The Rock didn't reach the ropes. The Rock does taunt Ken Shamrock. He wants Ken Shamrock to come outside, but will Ken Shamrock come outside? Probably not. The Rock's standing there as he wants to try and hit Ken Shamrock. Hits Ken Shamrock with a double axe handle. And now he's mounted punches on the face of the WWF Champion. Clothesline. He's going for the pin. 1. Ken Shamrock kicks out at the count of 1. And again hits Ken Shamrock with the clothesline. And then punches him in the face. Ken Shamrock kicks the Rock, but he's been countered. And Rock picks up Ken Shamrock. And it's the Rock bottom! The Rock bottom! The Rock bottom! The Rock bottom! Ken Shamrock is in a world of trouble here. As he doesn't want to be in this position. But never mind. He clubs Rock to the back of the head. Uh-oh. Oh, the world's most dangerous man is locked in the ankle lock. Rock's in a world of trouble. He doesn't want to tap out, but likely he will. Told you. Ken Shamrock wins the King of the Ring again. Got my ass kicked by Ken Shamrock. Yep, he's going to be the man to beat for me. But I don't mind losing the King of the Ring final. At least I beat Mr. Ass. That's all I care about. I wanted to win King of the Ring, but unfortunately for me, Ken Shamrock kicked my ass, and I got my ass kicked by Mr. Ass earlier. So I was pretty weakened from the match earlier. No, we're not going to change participants. We're in July and we're going to SmackDown. So let's get going. D'Lo Brown versus Al Snow. Win for D'Lo Brown, Stone Cold versus The Big Show. Win for The Big Show. Chris Jericho Chyna versus The Godfather and Val Venus. Chyna got pinned by The Godfather. Mark Henry versus The Undertaker for the European Championship. And a cage match. It's win for The Undertaker. The Rock versus X-Pac in the singles match. And then Kane versus Triple H as the main event. So The Rock is going to be feuding with DX for a while, it looks like. So this will be the final match of the video. And then hopefully we will talk about our payback predictions. But here comes the People's Champion. Coming down the People's Ramp on his show, SmackDown. And here comes X-Pac! X-Pac! I love this song. But too bad, X-Pac had go away later on after DX when he created the X Factor. Man, that Uncle Kracker song was terrible! Come on, man. Whoever likes that Uncle Kracker song, they must have some terrible taste. Because that Uncle Kracker song's terrible. Like, who likes that song? You'll be dealing with the X Factor. Like, Uncle Kracker. the song itself is so terrible. Like, you have to listen to it just to know how bad it is. If you weren't around the Attitude Era time, then you wouldn't know about this Uncle Kracker theme that X-Pac had. But it was terrible. X-Pac counters with kick to the face of the Rock. DDT by the People's Champ. They're fighting outside, and there is countouts, by the way, because this isn't King of the Ring anymore. It's SmackDown. It's just a regular singles match. Count of 5. Rock climbs up the turnbuckle and hits X-Pac with a double axe handle and kicks him in the leg. And he clotheslines X-Pac. And X-Pac kicks the Rock outside the ring. And a monkey toss by the Rock. And he's thrown X-Pac into the barricade. And again, but this time hits his head off the barricade. X-Pac's in the world of trouble here, but he counters with a kick. And a DDT by the People's Champion. Count of 4. But now he enters the ring again. Wait a minute, what's he doing? Bolting body press. And he's got X-Pac. He actually hit X-Pac. And now he's got the backdrop on X-Pac. It wouldn't be so surprised if DX does interfere. Because X-Pac is in this match after all. But if that is the case, then I'm pretty sure Mankind will come out and help the Rock. It's Rock and Sock connection. Scoop slam on X-Pac. Count of 6. The Rock this time goes out the ring again to fight X-Pac outside the ring again. X-Pac goes back into the ring and then comes back out. It's a count of 1. Again. Count begins again. And Rock hits X-Pac's head off the barricade again. Shoulder block. The Rock was trying to hit a jump swinging DDT but missed. It's a count of 4. Count of 5. And here comes Triple H. No surprise there. No DQs, it looks like, in these singles matches. And The Rock hits the DDT on Triple H. The Rock is going to have his hands full. There's some DDT by X-Pac. And there's a backdrop by X-Pac. So The Rock's in the world of trouble. He has to deal with Triple H as a distraction. But hopefully it doesn't distract him too much. Eye rake by the People's Champion. There's a shoulder block by The Rock. X-Pac counters. There's a DDT by the People's Champion. X-Pac is down. And here we go. It is the most electrifying move in all of sports entertainment today. as he throws his armband into the crowd. And he's about to connect with the People's Elbow Knockout. He's beaten 2 DX members in a row now. What winning momentum The Rock needed there after losing to Ken Shamrock at the King of the Ring. That loss doesn't mean anything to the People's Champion by lots of things. Good win for the People's Champion. And now we go to the main event, where it's Kane versus Triple H. And it's a win for Triple H. And it's SummerSlam. So next thing will be SummerSlam. Let's see where we are in the rankings first. We are 6th, so we are 1 place away from WWF Championship contention. But for now we're still in contention for the Intercontinental Championship and whatnot. And the current Intercontinental Champion is Ken Shamrock, actually. I think it is anyway. Yes, it is. He's got 2 titles. So it seems Ken Shamrock might have to do double duty for SummerSlam. Maybe, anyway. But yes, let's talk about the championship matches, shall we? There's 8 matches on this card. And, well, let's talk about them. Enzo Amore and Big Cass take on Gal Anderson, or Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, in a tag team match. That's on the pre-show, by the way. And, well, Enzo and Cass haven't really been winning that much lately, have they? They've been losing. They've been taking the losing fall. So I'm going to go for Enzo and Cass win, because they need a big win, even though it's on a pre-show. Then it's Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the United States Championship. And if Jericho wins the championship, he will be transferred to SmackDown. I see Kevin Owens retaining his championship. I don't see Chris Jericho winning the championship at all. He lost out at WrestleMania, and he's due to go away soon to tour with Fozzy, so I don't see Jericho winning at Payback. I might be wrong, but Jericho is due to go away. Then you have the Hardys taking on Shimaro for the Raw Tag Team Championships. You'd think that the Hardys would lose this match considering they won both singles matches, but I think they're going to win because, well, they're over still. They're still over since returning, so I think they'll win. But I do think that they will do the broken gimmick soon, where I do have an idea. Say if Matt Hardy loses the title, you could say Matt Hardy's gone crazy, or he hits his head off the turnbuckle or on the stairs or something, and then like he goes crazy and gets broken because like he suffers a concussion and whatnot, and it makes him get broken and whatnot. Something along them lines. It can be the most simplest story to create Matt Hardy's broken character again. You know, in WWE terms, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be too over the top. You have Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in the House of Horrors match. Not that I know what that is, but it's not for the WWE title. It was originally, but then they changed it to a non-title match. I guess it's because Bray Wyatt's on Raw now. So like this feud's gonna end, thank God. And who to win the House of Horrors match? Bray Wyatt normally loses big matches, you know, apart from the WWE title and whatnot. I do expect Randy Orton to win, I suppose, to get momentum, to face Jinder Mahal at Backlash. So yeah, I will go for a Randy Orton win, because Bray Wyatt's pretty much booked to be a loser. You have Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship. Neville did beat Austin Aries at WrestleMania, so maybe Austin Aries will beat him this time. But again, I think Austin Aries won on Raw in the tag team match against with Jack Gallagher against TJ Perkins and Neville. And yes, Austin Aries did win, so I expect Neville to probably retain, actually. I'm not going to pick Austin Aries, but I'm going to go for a Neville win because Neville did lose his match. Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Ugh. I don't know. I'm probably going to go for a Roman Reigns win, even though they've built Braun Strowman to be this monster for the past few weeks. But this feud, I really don't care about it anymore, especially they've turned it a bit into a joke after Kalisto did beat Braun Strowman, and well, they did that interview where Roman compared real life problems to a WWE storyline. Tasteless, but yeah, I don't care about this feud anymore, because they're probably going to make Roman Reigns win anyway. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. I'm looking forward to this match the most, to be honest with you. And out of this whole card, that's the match I'm looking forward to the most. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. And well, I'm probably going to go for a Samoa Joe win. I guess Samoa Joe will do something underhanded to win. I'll probably go for, yeah, I'm going for a Samoa Joe win. I guess because Triple H and Seth Rollins recently won at WrestleMania, so probably Samoa Joe wants to get revenge and probably will do at Payback. And then you have Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. I'm not saying that's the main event match, but this is the 8th match. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Bayley's title reign has really been poor to my standards. People might disagree with me, but Sasha Banks really has undermined Bayley's title reign. You know, with the whole always hogging the spotlight when Bayley's trying to defend herself in the promo, she comes out. It's kind of annoying, actually. And also, when she had that match with Charlotte, Sasha Banks interfered, you know. Didn't really make Bayley look good. And plus, Bayley's reactions have really died down because of Sasha Banks is one of the reasons, I suppose. And the fact that she won the belt on Raw. You know, she won it at WrestleMania. I think her reaction would be much bigger, but she won it on Raw. You know, why do the title change on Raw? But it's too late now. Doesn't mean much. And her title reign's just not been good. You know, it's really been undermined. It's really been underwhelming. You know, I wouldn't really call it a successful title reign. And I'm going to go for an Alexa Bliss win because, well, momentum's on her side. And she did lose the match on purpose against Sasha Banks. So, yeah, that's how I'm going with logic. Because, well, if she won the match against Sasha Banks, then you'd think Bayley would win. Because that's how predictable WWE is. If the heels lose before the title match, normally the heels win. If the babyfaces win, if the babyfaces lose before the pay-per-view, the babyfaces would win the pay-per-view match. That's how predictable WWE have become when they do these bookings. But yeah, that's the Payback card. They might probably add something in as this video uploads, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to Payback, but I'm gonna watch it anyway because I'm a wrestling fan. But don't be too surprised if I tweet negative stuff, you know, about matches and whatnot. You know, if they're poor or if they're disappointing and whatnot. Don't be surprised. And don't be surprised if I give it a thumbs down show, you know. Because they literally have done nothing to make you care about this pay-per-view, so yeah. So there's only one real match I'm looking forward to, and I said it already, Seth Rollins vs Samoa Joe. But yeah, that's it. I've talked enough about Payback's card. What are your predictions? If you have any predictions, you can write them in the comments. You know, I'll read them. I always read comments. So yeah, that's it for SmackDown Saturday this week. Next week we'll be doing SummerSlam, so you won't want to miss it. Hopefully we have a title shot. Or hopefully we have a match on the card anyway. I want the WWF title most, but if they give me an Intercontinental title match, I'm going to take it and I'm going to win it. Why not have the People's Champ wear a belt? You know, warm up the Ken Shamrock's keeping that WWF title warm for The Rock. Anyway, enough rambling. I'm going to sign off here. So, I'll see you guys next week for another another installment of SmackDown Saturdays. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.